I've been dead for 3 days now, and it's nothing like they said it would be. No light at the end of a tunnel, no reunion with loved ones. Just this endless gray void where I float alone with my thoughts. At least, I thought I was alone. Until I heard the whispers.
Hello? Is anyone there? I've been walking for what feels like forever. This place, it's just empty.
My voice echoed through the nothingness. I couldn't see my body, couldn't feel my limbs, but somehow I was still conscious, still aware. The doctors had pronounced me dead after the accident. I remember the ceiling tiles of the hospital, the beeping machines, and then nothing. Just this.
If this is heaven, it's seriously underwhelming. If it's hell, well, I expected more fire.
I tried to laugh, but no sound came out. Or maybe it did, and there was nothing for it to bounce off of. No walls, no floor, no ceiling. Just gray. Endless, peaceful gray. At first, I found it calming. No more bills to pay, no more relationship problems, no more anxiety about the future, just peace.
Day 1 wasn't so bad. Day 2, I started talking to myself. Now it's day 3, and I'm beginning to wonder if this is it, forever.
That's when I heard it. A soft sound, like fabric rustling. Then, a whisper. So faint I thought I'd imagined it.
Hello?
I tried to turn toward the sound, but without a body, without direction, it was impossible.
Hello, who's there?
Oh, thank God. I thought I was alone here. How long have you been in this place?
3 days, I think. It's hard to tell. Time feels different here.
I have been here for weeks, maybe months. It all blurs together.
Her voice sounded tired, resigned. But there was something else in it. Something that made the peaceful gray suddenly feel less peaceful.
Is this death? Is this what happens to everyone?
I thought so at first. The peaceful void, the quiet. It's not so bad, right?
I guess not. It's better than nothing.
That's what I thought too, until they came.
A chill would have run down my spine if I still had one.
They? Who's they?
I don't know what they are, but they're not like us. They don't belong here, and they're hungry.
The peaceful gray suddenly seemed darker, though nothing had visibly changed.
Haven't seen anyone else or anything else.
You will. They stay at the edges at first, watching, waiting. They know we can't leave.
I tried to remember how I'd gotten here. The accident, the hospital. But before that, my life was becoming hazy, like trying to recall a dream upon waking.
How did you die?
Who says I'm dead?
The question hung in the void between us.
But this is the afterlife, right?
Is that what you think this is?
Her laugh was hollow, echoing strangely in the nothingness.
This isn't heaven or hell. This is something else. Something in between. A waiting room, maybe. But not everyone who waits here moves on.
I would have swallowed nervously if I had a throat.
What do you mean?
Some of us become food.
The peaceful gray void suddenly felt very cold.
They're coming now. I can feel them. Can you?
And then I could. A subtle shift in the nothingness. A pressure. A presence. Multiple presences moving closer.
What do we do?
Nothing we can do, except maybe, if they take one of us, the other might have time to...
Her voice trailed off, and I felt her presence moving away from me.
Wait, don't leave me here.
I'm sorry. I've been here too long. I can't be taken again.
Again? What did she mean, again? But she was gone, her presence fading into the vastness of the void. And the others were getting closer. I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. Cold spots in the gray. Hungry voids within the void.
Please, if anyone can hear me, help me.
Something brushed against what would have been my consciousness. A tendril of something. Not physical, but not entirely non-physical either. It probed, curious, hungry.
No, get away from me.
I tried to move, to flee, but where could I go? There was nowhere to hide in the endless gray. The tendril wrapped around me, and suddenly, I wasn't alone in my own consciousness. Something else was there, looking through my memories, tasting my fears.
Stop, please.
It didn't stop. It dug deeper, and as it did, I began to remember. Not just my death, but what came before, what I'd done, the people I'd hurt, the lives I'd ruined. Was this my punishment? Was this hell after all?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I did.
The presence paused, as if considering. Then it withdrew slightly, but didn't leave. It was joined by others, circling what remained of me, like sharks scenting blood.
They're curious about you.
Her voice again, distant but clear.
What do they want?
To feed, to consume. But they're selective. They want the ones who deserve it.
Deserve what?
Punishment.
The word hung in the void, heavy with meaning.
What did you do in life? What sins are you carrying?
The memories flooded back. The anger, the jealousy. The moment of madness that had ended with blood on my hands.
It was an accident. I never meant to hurt anyone.
They know the truth. They always know.
The presences moved closer, their hunger palpable.
I'd been watching you since you arrived. I was like you once, confused, afraid, denying what I'd done.
I'm not denying anything.
Aren't you? You called this the afterlife, as if you deserved peace after what you did.
Her voice had changed, hardened. There was no sympathy in it now.
Who are you?
Don't you recognize my voice? It's been 3 years, but I thought you'd remember the woman whose life you destroyed.
And suddenly I did recognize it. The voice of the woman I'd been convicted of killing. The woman whose death had been ruled an accident because they couldn't prove intent. The woman whose face had haunted my dreams until the day of my own death.
This isn't possible. You can't be here.
Why not? Because you got away with it? Because the jury believed your lies?
The presences moved even closer, feeding on my fear, my guilt.
I'm sorry. I was drunk. I was angry. I never meant to push you down those stairs.
But you did. And now we're both here. Except I'm not alone anymore. I have friends now. Friends who understand justice in a way the living never could.
The tendrils wrapped tighter around my consciousness. I could feel them pulling, tearing at the edges of what made me, me.
Please. I've suffered too. I've paid for what I did.
Have you? 3 years of freedom while I've been here? In this void? That's not payment. That's not justice.
The gray was darkening now, or maybe that was just my perception fading as the presences began to feed in earnest.
What's happening to me?
They're taking you apart, piece by piece, memory by memory. It won't be quick. Nothing is quick here. You'll feel everything.
I tried to scream, but without a body, without a voice, all I could do was endure as they began to dismantle me. Memories flashed and faded. Childhood, my first kiss, college graduation, the night I met her, the night I killed her, the trial, my release, the years after haunted by what I'd done, the accident that had finally ended my life. All of it being consumed.
How long will this last?
Until there's nothing left of you, and then maybe you'll be allowed to move on. Or maybe you'll become like them, another hungry presence in the void, seeking out the guilty.
I could feel myself diminishing, being reduced to less than I was. But strangely, as the pain increased, so did a sense of rightness, of justice being served.
I deserve this?
Yes, you do.
The admission brought no relief, no absolution, just the continued dismantling of my being, memory by memory. Regret.
I'll stay with you until it's done. It's more than you did for me.
Days passed, or years, or seconds. Time had no meaning in the void, only the endless consumption of what had once been me. And as I faded, I began to understand. This wasn't hell. It wasn't punishment. It was balance. It was the universe correcting itself.
Will it ever end?
Everything ends, even this.
But she was wrong. As the last pieces of my consciousness were stripped away, I realized the truth. There would be no end, no peace, no oblivion, just transformation. I was becoming one of them, a hunger in the void, a deliverer of justice.
Goodbye. Perhaps we'll meet again, in whatever comes after this.
Her presence faded, or perhaps mine did. And in the last moments before I ceased to be what I had been, I felt it. The arrival of someone new. Fresh, confused, afraid, guilty.
Hello? Is anyone there? What is this place?
And I moved toward the voice, no longer afraid of the darkness in the void. I was the darkness now, and I was hungry.
Please, I don't understand what's happening.
But I understood. I understood perfectly. And as I reached out, with tendrils that had once reached for me, I whispered into the gray void.
Welcome. Tell me, what brings you to this peaceful place?